New fallout tonight from a controversial New York Times investigation into a possible cover-up at Universal Studios. Musicians are outraged over the reported destruction of thousands of master recordings. KCAL 9's Jake Reiner joins us live with more on a legal battle that could be brewing now. Jake?
Randy Aronson knew the Universal Video Vault like the back of his hand, which is why it's no surprise that he was the star witness in the New York Times explosive investigation. The massive fire that swept across the backlot of Universal Studios in June 2008 torched a number of famous attractions, but perhaps the most costly destruction was that of a vault containing up to 500,000 original master recordings. Bill Haley and his comments. Elton John.
You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave.
The Eagles, just to name a few. A half-century of music history.
It's a hell of a loss. It's a hell of a way to find out about it. And I'm sorry for that part that I played in that.
Randy Aronson was senior director for vault operations back then. Tonight, he is speaking for the first time since a New York Times investigation accused Universal of covering up the truth about the fire. Universal said at the time nothing was lost that couldn't be recovered.
Fortunately, nothing irreplaceable was lost. We have duplicates, and obviously there's a lot of work to replicate what's been lost, but it can be done.
But the Times claims Universal knew the recordings were gone and for a decade deceived artists and producers. Aronson is embarrassed, but says Universal forced him to stick to a script from day one.
I just kind of thought it was something that you say when there's a disaster and you kind of want to get your hands around the total loss before you come out with anything. And the next thing I know, it's 11 years later.
But from the start, he knew the real truth.
The losses of the fire haven't changed since the day the fire happened.
Universal is pushing back hard against the New York Times investigation, saying in part, the story contains numerous inaccuracies, misleading statements, contradictions, and fundamental misunderstandings of the scope of the incident and affected assets.
It's kind of like reliving the fire all over again.
There are now reports many artists want to sue Universal and could file as early as this week. And we've tried a number of times to reach the attorney representing those recording artists, but we have not heard back yet. Susie, back to you.
All right, Jake, thank you.